Welcome to Reread, where I'm rereading through the expanded universe in chronological order. Folks, we're going to talk about two comic books today, both of them one-shots. They came out prior to the movie, episode 2. It's Jango Fett is the first one-shot. The artwork's pretty good in it. And it's a pretty hefty book, too, with lots of action. There is a lot of dialogue, too, but there's tons of pages where you just get to sit back and enjoy the artwork. Books don't do it that much anymore, hardly at all, I think. But this comic book does give you a little bit of time to breathe and take in the beautiful artwork. And I love it when a comic book does that. Now, the comic book as a whole is okay. Basically, it begins with Jango Fett, into action, taking out a bounty on a Black Sun Vigo. He goes to the hut to employed him, and finds out that Wesell has assassinated the hut. Well, that's funny because she finds out that Jango Fett assassinated her boss, the person who hired her for the job, which was the Black Sun Vigo. So they kind of have to part ways like so. Afterwards, because he didn't get paid, when he goes back to Camino to see his, 8-year-old, let's say, 8-year-old son, Boba Fett, he has to take a job immediately because he didn't get paid on this last job. So his next job is to get some kind of dark side artifact. Now, they don't say that. They just say historic artifact, but there is some connection to the Force, because on top of all the obstacles and animals, beasts he has to fight off someone who is Force sensitive. And we don't know, because the alien doesn't speak his language for the longest until the very end, and says, no, this is the destroyer of worlds, or what, he's guarding this idol for whatever reason. It looks like the idol from Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark for some reason too. But anyway, at the end, Jango Fett doesn't like being lied to. He said, you didn't tell me about any Force users on this. He said, and so from here on out, if I ever see you again, you dirty dog, I'm going to kill you. Because Jango Fett, he's bad to the bone, so to speak. And we find out in the end that whoever hired the dog, you think is Darth Sidious, but it turns out to be some kind of dark side acolyte. I don't even know if he has the dark side in him. He may, you don't know, but it kind of ends on a cliffhanger, which I didn't remember gets concluded in the Wesell one-shot. Wesell basically picks up the story from there. Wesell goes to, she gets to know, by the way, when she also gets hired to get the artifact, I should say, in Jango's book, and is going to try to betray him. Just as Indiana Jones came out of the temple, battered and bruised with the idol, she is standing there at the end with a gun, not you hand me the idol, I'll hand you the whip, but basically just trying to, steal the idol from him. Then she gets in trouble. Jango Fett, just runs away, but then decides, I need to help Wesell. So he helps her out. She gets to see his face without the helmet, although he willingly took it off to show her. Really weird. They're trying to build a romantic connection between the two, which you don't see in episode 2. I'm just guessing the people who wrote the comic book didn't get any instruction from Star Wars, about, Lucasfilm about what their relationship would be. And so they said, oh, maybe they're a power couple. And so that's kind of how they're hinted to, that there's some flirtatiousness between the two, to say the least, even though he kills her in episode 2 without a second thought. So I guess those feelings weren't reciprocated. But either way, in the Wesell one-shot, Yarael Poof is going on a mission because the Jedi understand there's something wrong, like this dark side artifact may end destruction for the planet, but which planet they don't know, so they kind of divide up all the Jedi Masters. And on Coruscant, Yarael Poof decides that he is going to kind of guard the planet or search for the idol or whatnot. It's very confusing. It's at the beginning of the book there, of Wesell's book. Wesell is in this because she teams up with Jango Fett, says, hey, look, when we got that idol, when you got the idol out for him, we didn't know what kind of destruction we would be facing here. I mean, we're talking catastrophic. Coruscant may be at risk. And Jango's like, I don't care, but for some reason, Zam gets them to care, I guess, because of the children. Think of the children, Jango. And Jango looks at his son playing in the window and decides, oh, yes, I have a heart of gold. And so they go to Coruscant and try to retrieve back the artifact that Jango had gotten for his client. They do run into Yarael Poof at the end, where there's a big battle. He sees the dog that he threatened with his life. He said, I promise if I saw you again, I'd kill you. And so, of course, Jango Fett has to kill him, right? And Wesell is killing off the rest of the acolytes. Yarael Poof basically gets stabbed in the fight or something. He gets injured in the fight. And so after the fight's over, they find out that this amulet or whatever it is, this idol, is about to explode and kill the whole planet. I'm still unsure why, but it's got some dark side energy is going to be unleashed, that this cult unleashed. And so Yara Poof decides to, use his Force essence to stop it or something. I don't know. It's really confusing, but Yara Poof dies in this one, which I remember I was shocked when I read Zam Wesell. I was like, oh my, they killed off a movie character. Because this is before episode 2. And I guess they knew that he wasn't going to be in episode 2. And so Lucasfilm goes, yeah, you can kill him. Sacrifice him. So he sacrifices himself for the good of the planet. The Jedi show up at his funeral. They don't know where the artifact is because Zam Wesell and Jango Fett have taken it off and basically hid it from the galaxy. They did well. And there's like a flirtatious scene between them at the end, which, of course, he said, Boba Fett goes, hey, Dad, is that your lady friend? He went, I don't know. Will we see your lady friend again? He goes, maybe. I have a feeling we will. Yeah, and you're going to kill her then, at that point, Jango. So, but I'm guessing the comic book writers didn't know that. Either way, both of them have great art. They're really well done. The reason I am putting them here, last time when I did my review, I put the Shadow Trap first from Jedi Quest, but now I got to switch those up because, you think you already know, but Yaddle is basically featured at the very first page of the Zam Wesell comic book. And so if she is still sitting on the council, obviously this happened before Shadow Trap. That's all I'll say for now. See you next time.